Hi, this is Sandy, and I'm here today to do a process video for the collab um, Full Deck Challenge 4 by Shinuki Art. And I will put all that information down in the description box below. But I usually just show you what I've created, but I was having supper with my grandson, my youngest grandson, he's 17, on Monday. And we were talking a little bit about my YouTube channel, and he asked me if I did tutorials because he'd been talking to a friend about my channel, I guess, and he asked if I showed how I did things. And I said, no, I really have only done one I did a shaker tutorial, but that it was one of my goals this year to start doing that more. And he said he thought that I should for my channel. So here it goes. He has given me the little nudge that I needed to try this out and see how it goes. I am a teacher. I've been a teacher, but I'm used to doing it in person where I'm able to get feedback. So hopefully I won't get busy crafting and forget to be talking at the same time. Anyway, for Full Deck Challenge 4, Shanna took the prompts from year 1, year 2, year 3, and you can choose from any of those prompts to make your card. So the prompts that I have to work with this week are pink, stamps, lady, green, circles, staples, words, vintage, and brown splatter. So we're going to see what I can incorporate in this week's card. These are the size cards that I've been using. I've got a little ring that I've been putting all the cards on. And so I found this vintage paper. So that would help cover the vintage idea. And it had both pink and green in it. They're muted, but there is pink and green in there. And then it had some handwriting on it also. So I thought, well, that would help with some pink, some green, some vintage, and with the words, although I'm also decided I would add I stamped the word beautiful on this paper with walnut stain from the Distress line of inks. And so I'm going to fussy cut that out to go on my card. Then I was thinking about the vintage, and I found this little girl, well, not girl, lady, I guess. It's hard to tell her age, but I need a lady, so I'm calling her a lady. And so she has some pinkish, purplish colors in her, with the flowers and in the image. So I'm going to use this. It's a sticker on vellum. And so I'm going to use that image. And then I have this stamp that was in with a bunch of sentiment stamps that I had, but it does kind of a splatter technique, and I also thought it kind of worked for the circles idea. So I'm going to use some of this walnut stain ink that I have and just put some of that on the background. So it kind of works for the circles and the splatter, I feel like. Just give a little bit on the background. And so I'm going to glue this card. I've already cut it down to the size that I need, but I'm just going to glue it onto the card. And then punch that hole back. so it'll fit on my ring. And then I'm going to ink around the outside of the card because I always feel like that gives it a nice vintage feel as well, to ink around the edges. And I love using these little finger daubers to ink the edges. I always feel like it does what I like for it to do. So I'm going to add my image. Don't want to forget to put the pen back in my glue, or when I go to use it, to put this on. It'll be difficult. I'll have to play with it to get glue out. So I'm sorry I got out of the picture, but I am just fussy cutting around this word that I stamped. And then I'm going to ink around it to give it a more vintage feel. I just used a piece of white cardstock scrap that I had because I have lots of white scraps, and so it doesn't really have as much of a vintage feel as I want it to, so I'm going to put a little bit of ink on it too to grunge it up just a little bit. So there's the word beautiful that I'm going to put down on the bottom, but I'm going to put a little bit of ink on it first. Just kind of grunge it up a little bit. And I like that, so I'm going to glue that down. And I think that that's where I'm going to quit on this card. I've been able to put, it has some pink in the background, it had some green in the background. I have a lady, some little circles with the stamp that I put on there, and it said stamps, so I don't know if it meant a stamp that you stamp or if it meant like a postage like stamp. But anyway, I did some stamping, and then I did stamping on the word. And so words was one of it, vintage was one of it. So I think those are the prompts I'm going to use for this week. So this is my contribution for week number 10 of FDC4. Thank you for watching my video.